Hello and welcome to my workshop. Today is the second video of the 4th axis etching of that vase. Also, unfortunately, today is probably going to be the last video for some time, probably 2 months, maybe 2.5 months, because I have to go overseas to the US to one of my business partners. I'll be back later on in the year and we'll take up from where we left off. But my office is still open. There's still people running Pacific tooling in my absence, and I can still get messages and assist whenever possible. So today, 4th axis. What I'm going to do actually is it's going to be a tutorial in lasercut 6.1, and I'm going to do this for my wife actually. I'm going to take some roses, clip out roses, and put it into lasercut and put something together, and we'll etch it into this vase. You remember in the last video I showed you and explained to you why I have this black mild steel on here. Well, this is the reason. All this tar or residue that is left over from the burning of or evaporation of the MDF, most of it's gone on here and condensed. Now if you didn't have this, it would either condense on your honeycomb, or it would be carried off into your filters, which gives you more work to do and added cost. So you can clean it off very simple like this. Acetone. It's a very gooey, horrible stuff too. Acetone cleans it off quite well. One thing using acetone, you've got to give sufficient time for the acetone to evaporate completely out of your machine. Otherwise, you could have an explosion because the laser can ignite the fumes. So the first thing we need to do is switch the laser on and allow it to home itself, because we're going to then drive the Z down, put the 4th axis on, and then disconnect the Y and then reposition it manually over top of the 4th axis. We'll then set the work offset, or the work 0 point of the X and Y and Z on the work on the 4th axis. So it's automatically set the home position, so now I can drive the Z down and disconnect the Y. So what I've done now, we have to now configure the 4th axis to this machine. So I've drawn a single one line that's 315 millimeters in length. Now that is the circumference around our cylinder of or our vase. So we need to now match the driver to the stepper motor on the 4th axis. So this is how we do this. So you draw a line of the length of the circumference around the object that you want to etch, and I've set it to a speed of 10 millimeters per second, nice and slow, So I set this down to 1%, 1%, 2%, 2%. I know the laser isn't going to fire, because we don't want the laser to fire. I'm going to OK that. And I'm going to upload that now to the laser. And there it is. So now we will run that file and we will see, I'll put a marker on here to see how far the surface area actually turns, to give us some indication of how much we need to alter this. So I'll just run that code now. 3, 4. So as you saw, that was 4 1/3 turns, so it's way out. So we know that it, whatever steps per this is set at the moment, we have to be somewhere 1/4 or just less of that. Okay, now to alter any parameters within this program, which is the controlling mechanism for the laser, you come up to here, machine config, axes, y-axes, and now this is the standard setting. Now take a photograph of this. In fact, take a photograph of all these settings, because you may need them in the future. So what we're going to do, double click. Now this lower figure is the one that we're interested in. Now what I'm going to do is, now this isn't going to be correct, but it's going to be a lot closer than what it is at the moment. I'm going to set this at 2000 pulses or steps, and press OK. Then you have to press OK down here and also press OK here, and get out of this, then double click and recalculate. Then send it to the machine. Okay, so now we'll go back to the machine and see what's happened now with the 4th axis. Okay, so let's see now how many turns. That was about 1 1/3, or just over 1/3. So we know we've got to come down to about 1500 steps. That'll be pretty close, I think. Okay, so it's back into File, Machine Config, Axes, reopen this. Now I'm going to put 1500 here because I got a feeling that's, so roughly working it out in my head, that's going to be pretty close, I think. Okay, 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 get out of that, double click and recalculate. So you can do this relatively quickly, you know, it's not a big palaver to go through. Load it to the machine, yes. Now we'll go back to the 4th axis and recheck it. Okay, so here we go. Let's just recheck that again a bit closer. And that's pretty well perfect. And that's all you have to do. just remember to take a photograph or jot it down on a bit of paper what the original readings were. Right, so to put this design together, I know that I've got 250 by 315 of surface area to machine or to play with. And then I've got somewhere here a drawing of a rose. That one there, I believe. That's quite a nice one. So we're going to reset. We're going to set the size of that one. So I want to put two on. I want to put one on one side and one on the other side. So wherever you have it rotated, you still have a rose. Now so we need to keep the aspect ratio on, and it's the Y. This is the one we need to alter, because don't forget we're going to turn this around in a minute. So the Y, the actual X will become the Y. So that needs to be, let me see, we've got 315, so that's 157.5. 157.5. Lock the aspect ratio and press OK. There then, we need to rotate this 90 degrees. Oh. 90 degrees. Rotate. Oh, we've gone the wrong way. So that's 180 to make it right. So we'll try that again. 180. That should put it right. Okay. Now then, we want to make two of these, because we want one either side. So it's a copy. So we want two in the Y, but only one in the X. And we don't want any gaps. So there we go, and there we go. So then what we need to do is group these two together to make it one unit then. So you press Shift, and then first of all we need that tool. Press Shift and that one. Then we need to group them together, which is up here. Group. So now that's one unit. Let's bring it down to the middle. Okay, so now we have a design. So the next thing we need to do then is etch our design. So we'll bring up the etch in. 300, yes, this is fine. For etching on perspex or acrylic, this will be absolutely fine. Yep, we're going to OK that. And we're going to send that to our machine. And it's done. So let's set the fourth axis up now for machining. What you need to do, you need to make sure that your rotary axis is parallel in the machine and parallel to this. You can do that, and you can pull this, because we have now the Y disconnected and connected it to the fourth axis, and we have set the fourth axis up so it is now moving correctly at a measured amount. We can actually take this off, and we can bring this over. Now just sight down to the body of the rotary axis, whether it's parallel with this. That's pretty good. and you bring this here. So this is, the laser is directly over the top midpoint, which is there. So now we have to set the XY, or rather the Y is now set, but now we need to set the X and the Z. Now what we don't want to do, because this is going to be moving at quite a rate, we want to be sure it doesn't bash into any of these. So now we can set the Z. Okay, so first I'm going to do, I'll do a test to see whether it's within the envelope. Okay, I'm happy with that, and now we'll run the cut. Okay, so let's see what we have. That's what we have. I hope the light isn't too fierce in here. If I come a bit closer. Don't know whether you can pick that up, whether you can read it. I went to Kmart and bought this for $8.50. I've just put $50 on the value. And especially if you personalize it by putting something like happy anniversary and the person's name, and make it personal. You can earn yourself $50 in less than an hour. I have also just seen a comment that someone made, I'm not quite sure where, I think it's America. And the comment was, where this side of NASA does an ordinary person have the money to buy a machine like this? Well, I'll tell you. What would you rather do? Would you rather you and the wife and the kids go on holiday for a week? Or invest in one of these and secure your financial freedom and life for the rest of your life? Because that's what these machines can do. They can make you a home business. If you set your mind to it, they're not that expensive. So, and I think I've proved to you in videos past, and I will do in the future too, a simple thing like this. If you know how to handle the programs, set the machine up, you can buy $8.50, turn it into $50 in less than an hour. That's good business sense. So I hope you've liked the making of this today. 4th axis. Very beautiful little vase, I think now, from a plain vase. And if you have, please press like, subscribe to my channel, and visit one of my channels. There's over 250 videos now on CNC rotors, lasers, ATCAM, Mark III, and different shop jobs, and I do a lot of wood turning as well. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you pop in again, but it's going to be about 2 to 3 months now before I can make another video, because I'm off to the United States and the UK on business. So I'll see you when I get back, and it's bye for now.